and children waving Ghanaian and U.S. flags. The stop is Trump's first on a four-country tour that will include visits to Kenya, Malawi, and Egypt. U.S. International Affairs analyst Rasheedah Thomas joins me now via Skype from Washington. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, she's on a solo trip to 3 African countries. Now, what do you make of this trip? What is the importance of this trip to these African nations?
Well, I think that Melania is doing her part as Donald Trump's wife to... This is the first part of perhaps a goodwill journey between the Trumps and African countries after his unfortunate comments about Africa earlier this year. It's unclear if this first step will work, but she just arrived this morning in Ghana, so I think a lot remains to be seen.
Will this visit help quell the mindsets of some African nations because of, like you mentioned, his unsavory comments about African nations earlier this year? Will it help heal the wounds that have been created?
I think it's a good first step. I think the optics are good. I think that I understand why she picked the countries that she did. She has Mark Green, the head of USAID, with her. They're already doing work in these countries. But I think that if Donald Trump really wanted to heal those wounds, he would concentrate on investment in Africa. I think now that Melania is on the continent and she's interacting with these African leaders, this is the presidents of these countries. This is their chance to actually forge relationships with the Trumps and perhaps come up with some kind of bilateral agreements with the United States.
And you believe that these African nations will accept this bilateral agreement and want to forge a bilateral relationship, a very good one, with the U.S., seeing that Trump had made some comments in the past?
I think that for the good of their countries and their citizens, I think they will attempt it. I'm not sure that it will heal the wounds, though. I think the wounds run deep.
Okay, let's look at her campaign. She's focusing her campaign Be Best on children. Now, how does this compare to that of other first ladies?
Well, you know, Michelle Obama's campaign was childhood obesity. Melania Trump has showed us in several different ways since she's become first lady, and even before, that she emulates Michelle Obama and really wants to be like her. I think that this is one of the reasons why she is concentrating on children. In the United States, however, the Be Best campaign has been looked on by many of my fellow citizens with derision because part of it is bullying, especially online, and she's married to someone who happens to be the bully in chief in the United States right now.
Okay, looking at her background, like a lot of people will say she's not American, that she's a foreigner but married to America. Now she's an American citizen. But looking at her background, do you think this will inspire especially people from the girl child who look up to all of these African first ladies? Do you think her visits there will inspire the younger ones?
I hope so. I really hope that some positivity comes from this trip. I hope that it does go a long way in healing the wounds between the United States and African countries. I hope that it does do something for the youth of Africa to see one of the leaders of the United States come to see them in person. But I really do hope that concrete things come out of it, like investment in the continent.
Okay, what do you think will be the economic benefits of this visit to the African nations by Melania Trump? How will these countries benefit economically?
Well, there's nothing that Melania Trump can do directly. The only thing that she can do is try to influence her husband. It's unclear what her influence is over her husband. That remains to be seen. But I think this is a good opportunity for these African countries to start building a relationship with the Trumps through Melania. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Yes, let's just see what happens after the trip to these African nations. Thank you very much, Rasheedah Thomas, International Affairs Analyst. Thank you very much for talking to us.